And welcome everyone, this is the Mind Sculptors gameplay series. I am your host, and joining me today for our first episode in the Iconic Decklist Challenge gameplays episodes is, of course, my partner in crime, my usual guy, Sickrobot. Sick, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I am ready to watch some janky decks do their thing is what I'm ready to do.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see these decks. We've done, there's 2 deck techs so far for the decks that are at this table that are out online at the moment. And I believe there are more to come. But yeah, so these are our decks, but before we get into it, I just want to thank you all for joining us today. If you like this episode or any of our other episodes, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And if you want access to our Discord server as well as some extra content, make sure to head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/themindsculptors or check out the link in the description. Also, if you're buying some cards, make sure to check out our TCG player affiliate link down in the description below. So today, we've got 2 Sculpty boys in Charles and Pongo. Charles is going to be playing, he's the mono white guy, right, Sick? And so he's going to be playing Death and Taxes, headed by Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. And Pongo is going to be playing a 5-color deck, and it is quite the 5-color deck. It is Joda, Archmage, Eternal, and this is Omnitel. So we'll get into these decks here in a moment. Joining us from Play to Win is Dylan. Dylan is going to be playing a Thrasios Bruised Taro list, and this is going to be his take on kind of classic modern pod. And finally joining us today is moderately anonymous MTG, or Mod-Anon, and they are going to be playing Krark in Sakashima, but it's gonna be blue-red Gift Storm, Krark and Sakashima. So, Sick, as we're looking at these deck lists, we'll start off here with Mod-Anon here, and they're playing, Gift Storm, but there's one small issue with that, is that Gifts Ungiven is not legal in EDH. So what are they doing?
Well, I mean, on the surface, they're playing Intuition, which is a pretty good replacement in a lot of cases. On the other hand, they're also playing a lot of other Storm stuff to make up for that fact. We have staples like Mind's Desire. We got some Empty the Warrens going on here. Love to see it.
Yeah.
Grape Shot. We're actually playing Area of Flame as a payoff as well. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then we're doing some of the classic, blue-red CDH stuff. Got some Otherworld Breach going on here. Got some Dockside things going on. Yeah, it looks like a fun list.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see exactly how this all plays out, and it's so crazy to me because when I look at this list, I have a friend who lives here in the Lincoln area, whose name is David Snavely. He's one of the top modern Storm players in the country, and he and Caleb Shearer are the only 2 people who really put up consistent results with it. And so every time I see this list, I immediately think of David. So David, this one's for you. Heading on over to our other guest this week is Dylan from Play to Win, and he, like I said, is playing Thrasios and Bruised Taro, and this is a birthing pod list. And tell us a little bit about this list here, Sick.
So this is sort of something similar to what we'd call probably blue pod-ish in CDH. Basically, the entire list is sort of based around trying to do things with Kiki Jiki as your central combo piece. Got a lot of stuff in here like flicker effects. We got some Feldar Guardian here. We got some Quarter Monitor, Deceiver Exarch, Pestermite, all that kind of good stuff. Got some Karmic Guide shenanigans for birthing pod lines. And then we got some other good old staples. We also have Splinter Twin to do some stuff with those cards as well. Specifically the Pestermite, Deceiver Exarch, Quarter Monitor type stuff, and some additional Dockside combo things, which is sort of nice. I'm also super excited to see if we can see somebody put a Splinter Twin on a Dockside, because that is hilarious, and I think that
Hot.
people should be doing that more because it is great. But yeah, typical, just like, Sans Black good stuff with a lot of Kiki Jiki centric stuff in here.
Right. And this isn't the only pod list that has been done with the group of people that are doing these iconic lists. I know we're going to be seeing one coming up from another content creator that we're partnered with. So I'm not allowed to say who it is. I was sworn to secrecy. But it's going to be coming out soon, and I've seen the video, and it's really good. So that'll be coming out in the not too distant future. Heading on over to Charles's deck, he's playing Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, and this is Death and Taxes. So when we're looking at this list, tell us a bit about this list, Sick.
So actually, I said it certainly is. This, just by nature of being a singleton format, is a bit of far cry from typical Death and Taxes.
Right.
There's a lot of stapley stuff in here. Obviously, Thalia is like the Death and Taxes creature, and it's in the command zone, so there's only so far you can stray from the Death and Taxes archetype. But we've got some spice in here. There's a lot of great pack 1, pick 2 draft picks in here for Vintage Cube and Eternal Cube formats, which, I mean, quite honestly, I love to see. You love to see cards that just do a lot of value. I am looking forward to seeing somebody potentially put a Chancellor of the Annex into play. That's a fun one. I mean, really, like, Brazella is fan favorite as always.
Right.
Got some other general stacks effects. Got some stapley stuff, Sanctum Prelate, Dramatic Magistrate, all the good stuff from normal mono white stuff, and then some Armageddon-y things as well.
Yeah, because why not?
Yeah.
Well, it's always exciting to. This is actually, so we've actually recorded quite a few games with Charles, but due to just some issues that we've had, this is actually the first one that is going to be on the channel. So like Charles has been doing stuff with us since November. And this is really the past month or two is really when he's finally been able to come out. So I'm really excited to show off some of what he's doing. Finally over on to Pongo. And this might be probably the most fun deck at the table.
Oh yeah.
He's playing Joda Archmage Eternal. And this is Omnitel. So tell us a little bit about what is going on here. We've already seen the deck tech. We released that a few weeks ago. But as far as, so what is this list doing just kind of for some people who haven't seen that yet?
So because there's only one show and tell that you can play in this format out of 100 cards, not super consistent to find it. There's some other stuff that you can use as sort of show and tell style things, but you can't really get to the density that you want to actually, be able to consistently show and tell on turn 2 or turn 3 every game. So casting any spell for Wooburg is the next best thing that you can do, especially when you get a Fist of the Suns in the command zone. So, I mean, let's just do that instead, I guess. The whole list is basically just based around casting Joda and then producing Wooburg and just casting a Kozilek or a Jin-Gitaxias or an Timbercool or an Omniscience or an Enter the all the good stuff.
All these big
casting
spells
patties for 5 mana is still pretty nuts. I will say the one thing that I'm disappointed didn't make it into this list is Channel the Suns. One of my all-time favorite cards. Costs 3 and a green, sorcery, add Wooburg to your mana pool. Seems like a great fit here that just didn't make it in. So a bit disappointed, but I will say that deck looks super fun.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see exactly what goes on with this list. I know, when the CDH Brazil anniversary stream, their 1-year anniversary stream, Pongo was in the first pod with Sheldon, and Sheldon's playing Najeela, and Pongo's playing. It was really funny because it felt like the roles were reversed, where Pongo is kind of playing the, maybe not full CEDH, maybe high power deck, and then Sheldon is the one playing the CEDH deck, right?
Yeah.
So it was really funny, but so some people have seen this in action, so it'll be really exciting to see this here today. Going on into the opening hands, well, before we do that, actually, going on over into the turn order. Going first, Mod Anon did win the die roll. He will be going first. Second is going to be Pongo. Third is going to be Dylan. And unfortunately, and last is going to be Charles. Mod, his opening 7 was Command Tower, Ancient Tomb, Arcane Signet, Gitaxian Probe, Intuition, Grape Shot, and Spell Seeker. So, how are you feeling about this opening 7 here, Sick?
Looks pretty great, honestly. Got your mana in place. You can go turn 1 Ancient Tomb, Arcane Signet, which is pretty nice. Get Probe potentially finds 1 mana spell you cast off of that. Not bad. You're sort of lined up already for like a turn 2, maybe turn 2 Krark, turn 3 Sakashima here. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I mean, you got tutors for all your stuff. You already have a Storm Payoff in your hand, and the Intuition can only do good things as well as the Spellseeker. So I'm down.
Right.
Let's run it.
Awesome. Well, up next is Pongo. He kept his second 7. That 7 was Necropotence, Deflecting Swat, Gemstone Caverns, Tropical Island, Talisman of Conviction, Peer into the Abyss, and Misty Rainforest. So how are you feeling about this one, Sick?
So there's definitely some amount of mana issues that you excuse me.
Right.
Some amount of mana issues that you could have here. That being said, I mean, with the Boros Signet and all, or Boros Talisman and all, not great. But that being said, Gemstone Caverns with potential fetch for black mana, and then if you can ever draw into a third black mana, just like potentially a turn 2 Necropotence is pretty great. And then eventually, if you just find mana, there's always the chance for a Peer into the Abyss to go into the stack. So I'm not unhappy with this hand.
We'll see exactly how that works out for him. Going third is Dylan, and Dylan did keep his first 7, and that 7 was Verdant Catacombs, Neoform, Noble Hierarch, Forbidden Orchard, Felidar Guardian, Corridor Monitor, and Chromox. What do you think of that 7?
Yeah, definitely not bad. You got couple of redundant pieces that you're not super happy to see. The Felidar Guardian and Corridor Monitor usually don't need both. That being said, you do have like the potential to neoform that Felidar Guardian into Kiki Jiki, which seems pretty good, especially when you already have the Corridor Monitor in your hands. So yeah, I'm down for this.
Seems pretty alright.
Got the Doric, got the lands, got some of the mana acceleration good to go, and you potentially have a line straight to the win in your hand. So yeah.
Be interesting to see exactly how that works out. For Dylan, going last is Charles. He kept his second 7. That 7 was a Plains of Flagstones of Torquair, Strip Mine. Did I say that right? Torquair? Strip Mine, Ramaz, King of Oreskos, Gideon of the Trials, Blind Obedience, and Karmic Guide. What do you think of this 7?
I am thinking that the Strip Mine might not be doing that much work this game. That being said, certainly some cards in here. Gideon of the Trials is pretty good at stopping you from dying to Oracle Consult. The only issue here is I don't think any of these decks are on Oracle Consult. In fact, well, right. I guess Pongo's is. That being said, there's like actually a fair amount of stuff like WinCons wise that just bypasses this. You just sort of die to infinite grape shots, as well as sort of just dying to infinite Kiki Jikis, or Felidar Guardians, etc., etc. So might be a problem if he thinks that he's safe on the Gideon. That being said, the Blind Obedience does shut off Kiki Jiki from winning the same turn, which is nice. Makes Kiki enter tapped, and then all of the things that it creates also enter tapped. So theoretically, what you'd have to do to bypass that with Kiki is to play Kiki out. It comes into play tapped, and then you would untap it with whatever, like your untapper, and then in the end step before you untap, you'd have to make infinite things so that you could untap with them and swing out. So it's sort of interesting stuff there. Cover Guide's sort of nice, and then the Brimez just to apply pressure. I mean, yeah, if you're playing Death and Taxes, you certainly need to be winning in combat. So Brimaz definitely helps out.
We'll see exactly how this all works out for everybody. We're going to take a quick timeout, and we'll be back on the other side with the start of today's game. And welcome everybody back. This is the Mind Sculptors gameplay series. I'm Callahan, that's Sick, and we are jumping into our first game of the Iconic Decklist Challenge. And so, Sick, we looked at the opening hands. We saw a little bit about what all these decks are doing, turn order, all that jazz. If you had to place a bet on who's going to win this game, who are you feeling?
Quite honestly, I'm sort of feeling Korksak Shima here. That's some great mana acceleration and some pretty good tutors for finding stuff. The only real issue here is going to be the Thalia coming out of the command zone on turn 2, which, you know, definitely an issue for Storm, but I feel like you got options to work around it. You just, especially with like sort of the snowbally nature of Korksak Shima and getting just like a whole lot of cast of things, I think you got lines.
Okay. Well, we'll see exactly how this all pans out. We're going to jump in here, and we do know that Pongo has some pregame effects, so we should be seeing a gems. There it is. Gemstones. Exiling the Necropotence.
Interesting. I guess he is, well, he didn't draw, or, well, he hasn't drawn yet. I guess, yeah, he's just not thinking about, nothing that's probably going to get there with the current mana that he has access to.
Right. Arcane Signet, Ponder.
Ooh,
so it looks like he drew a Ponder.
That's good. I was about to, like I was saying that you could get probe into a 1 mana thing, but just drawing the 1 mana thing is probably a better
also
thing.
Good.
Yeah, not bad.
And leaving him on top. Gonna draw.
Good sign.
And passes the turn. Playing and cracking a Misty Rainforest. And
so it is unfortunate that you already have a drop in your hand, because that means this Misty's going to double up on at least one of your colors. There's choosing to double up on blue here, which I definitely agree with. Here's the Boros Talisman. Which, I mean, definitely cast Joda. It's definitely something that card does.
So it looks like we might be seeing a turn 2 Joda, which is pretty quick.
Yeah, definitely not bad. I'm a bit worried about the pure plan here, though, just because, again, turn 2 Thalia, not bad into a pure. Not sure that you have enough mana to work through that right now, but definitely just having access to a pure for 5 mana is not a bad one.
So Dylan, got a Taiga as a land for turn, well, off of his Verdant Catacombs, and he's playing a Noble Hierarch. And I think that's going to be the turn for him. That's a nice shiny Noble Hierarch.
Oh yeah, big bling. So there's also, we were talking about, I know we were talking about like neoforming the 4-drop, the Felidar Guardian, into a Kiki-Jiki. There's also the option here of next turn playing out the Corridor Monitor to untap the Noble Hierarch to then cast a Neoform the same turn and potentially go for a 2 or a 3-drop instead. Which definitely has some appeal depending on what you're thinking about your prospects of getting there with Kiki are.
Charles did just play a Flagstones of Torquir and pass.
Yep, didn't see any 1-drops from him in his opening hand, so makes sense.
Command Tower as land for turn from Madanon. And let's see, Mystic Remora from Looks like that's resolving.
Certainly
and Charles
a good
says he
one.
does not care. And there comes Kark.
Oh, are we going to see the Git probe? Oh, come on. Let's Git probe some.
No Git probe.
No. All right. I guess if he's keeping it for the Sakashima, that's fine. But I do want to see some Git probing into Kark.
And there comes the Joda boy.
Yep. So this is just like
And
Death and Tax's personal hell, quite honestly. He is just having somebody across the table that can just cast fatties for 5 mana every turn, just whenever they draw them. So yeah, we'll see how Charles deals with that.
Dylan did play a Forbidden Orchard as land for turn.
Knew about that one too. Interesting to see if he goes for the quarter monitor. Definitely not bad. You can definitely do like, you don't have to go for the Neoform, obviously. You can do like quarter monitor into Thrasios here. Just get them both out of your hand, and then you have an untapper in play for whenever you get a Kiki or a Splinter Twin.
Right.
So definitely options.
All right, we're getting Chromox from Dylan.
Okay.
Gonna feed the fish.
Not sure.
Feldar Guardian.
Huh. Okay. I think 4. Are we going to see a Bruce here?
And they're trying to determine who to give the spirit to. And Modanon gets the spirit, it sounds like. And there comes Bruce.
Yep.
I guess Bruce is also a Neoform.
Certainly also Neoform Bruce into Kiki-Jiki. So, I mean, we'll see if he can just go for it next turn with the Neoform the Bruce Tarl into a Kiki-Jiki and then just cast a Corridor Monitor and win the game. That being said, by the length of this video, dear viewer, that you can probably see on YouTube, I'm not sure that's happening. Spoiler alert.
It's funny because it's weird because these games are recorded, but neither of us have seen them before we sit down.
Not at all. And in fact, YouTube viewer have not seen it either, but we can definitely tell you that, like, although that might be attempted, I'm not sure that that's going to go anywhere. But we'll see.
Okay, Strip Mine from Charles. Yep. And it looks like Charles is trying to evaluate whether blind obedience from Charles.
So that
seems like that's fine, especially given the board state.
Does indeed stop Kiki-Jiki from happening. So don't worry, it wasn't that big of a spoiler. Literally just a turn in advance. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting if...
okay, so it sounds like Dylan is going to try and counter this. Force of Will pitching Dispel.
Ooh, wow, he found Force of Will and Dispel off of draws. Crazy.
And Charles can't do anything about it, and that's going to pass over to Dan. That's Modanon's name.
I can call him Dan because I know him. So, never mind. So it's interesting here if Dan draws or drew a land off of that fish, it's probably very reasonable to just keep the fish around and then play out a land, play out Sakashima, potentially just fire off the Git probe. Especially with 2 potential copies, you can definitely just sometimes get heads on
Git probe. I didn't even think about Git probe with Kark and Kashima until you brought it up.
So you can just sort of draw a lot of cards. If you fail any one flip but succeed any other flip, then you just sort of get to return it to your hand and try again while also drawing cards and getting extra information every time. Not bad.
Seems all right.
Yeah. I think you're 75% favored to get like just nuts value off of it. You do have 50% every time to get it back, obviously. You get 2 flips. You win on any, like, one head, one tails, basically.
Right. Letting the Remore die.
This indicates to me that there's no land, or that we want the extra land so that we can do just a massive win attempt here. Looks like a training center.
What does training center do?
Training center is the
the land.
Yes.
Okay, never mind. I was thinking it was training grounds for a moment, and I was very confused. Excuse the where it seems that in the video there were some technical difficulties with Charles here, where he just kind of blipped from existence. Is that what they called it in Marvel? Is the blip when Thanos snaps his hand?
Oh, no idea. Probably. I would say that Charles phased out, and we're waiting for him to phase back in. I forgot that
you don't Spellseeker from Dan. Okay.
Yeah. It's a Spellseeker. See what this is getting. Now, if this were CDH Karkasak, I would imagine this is probably getting something like a Twin Flame. But since we're not on that plan, there's a lot of other options here. I don't know. There's just
Charles.
It's a manual blue-red storm deck. There's a lot of options here. Could be like a snap. Snap's pretty awesome. With a Kark and a Sakashima in play.
Snap would be hot.
Muddle
the mixture.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm assuming we're gonna end up muddling for Dockside next turn or something to that effect.
Oh, I guess that does work.
I
was trying to think of what you're muddling for, but I guess that does just turn it into another like
the Dockside counter. The Dockside count right now is only 1. So I'd be sort of surprised if that was the play.
No, it's 2. It's 2.
Oh, it is. It is.
Dylan has a Chromox.
Still not the greatest thing ever.
Well, and I feel like he must be assuming that Pongo has more rocks, Dylan has more rocks, and Charles has something along the lines of an enchantment something.
That being said, this could also be going for something like Brawl to help offset the Thalia.
That's also
or like
true,
Elven Electromancer or something to that effect. I think you're like the one that you would really want if you could have access to it is Bergie. Because Bergie really helps when you're like casting things that you can't really discount, but I don't know. I'm assuming this is going for like a cost discounter to help bypass this Thalia.
So let's see what Pongo has in store for us. Does he get a 4th land, excuse me, that's going to let him activate this Joda?
No, it looks like Charles. No. Oh my God.
He got Carpet of Flowers.
Well, there's currently no islands in play.
No islands. Here. Wow.
That's actually like super critical because if Pongo would actually hit a land drop this turn, I'm pretty sure he just gets there, right? Like you just pure for 5 mana, then you have a deflecting spot for backup for the muddle. Everybody else is tapped out.
Right.
Seems good enough, but yeah, just not hitting the land drop, can't get there this turn. Feels bad. And next turn there's a Thalia coming down, and you're not doing much about that. Yet, anyway. We'll see if he draws into just Villas off the top or Kozilek or whatever his myriad of fatties.
Neoform. Sacking the Bruce.
Oh my God.
And it sounds like...
Yeah, I feel like this is being muddled.
And
it just feels like this has to get muddled. Like, even if you don't... Yeah, I guess there's no, like, there's not a Thrasios.
Because you get a Kiki, you untap the Noble Hierarch, you have the Clockwork in your hand.
Well, you don't even untap the Noble, you just... Oh, it's a remand.
Remand.
Great one. Okay, let's roll. I don't know. Okay.
Odds goes back to hand.
Okay, great.
So...
Oh my god. This is insane. Nope.
Oh, he's...
Huh? Are we... We did already roll. I'm not sure what's happening here.
No. Okay, so the remand's gonna go back to his hand. There it is. And nothing else from Dan.
All right. So the funniest thing about what's going to happen here is we're going to see a Kiki Jiki. We're going to see a corridor monitor. The Kiki G. I'm assuming he's going to activate targeting the Noble Hierarch like you indicated. Mm-hmm. The issue is he's going to then play the corridor monitor and is going to be deflecting swatted to something that's not the Kiki. Which means that, oh, never mind. Interesting. So we're going to see...
Okay.
Target on the stack. Targeting the Kiki. Kiki activation response? Oh no! He targeted the Chrome Box! He didn't play around the deflecting SWAT! He had the play around! Oh my god, that's so tragic.
Swatting. He's deflecting, swatting the Kiki activation, targeting the...
I think Kiki can only target your own... Oh, I should know this. Don't yell at me, comment section. Copy of target non-legendary creature you control. Yep, so it's gotta be the Noble Hierarch here. Yep. Yeah, that is incredibly tragic because the play there to get around that line is you have to ETB the corridor monitor, target the Kiki Jiki, hold priority, activate Kiki Jiki targeting the corridor monitor, and then you always have an extra activation ready to go. So even if there's a deflecting SWAT on either of the abilities, you still get there. But right. Since the corridor monitor, the Chrome Box can't get there this turn. That is legitimately tragic. And I'm assuming that we're going to see somebody at this table get an answer. We know that Mod has a transmute, that thing. God, I'm bad. Muddle the Mixture. There we go. Has a Muddle the Mixture, has access to a Gilded Drake, so there's certainly the possibility to just muddle for a Gilded Drake, cast Gilded Drake, so there's guaranteed at least one answer from the table. So I'm assuming this is going to be answered, but yeah. That is rough. That's a tragic one.
So Plains from Charles. Swords to Plowshares. And he's targeting Kiki Jiki.
So I'm not sure about this
it's
one.
Exiled.
Because you know that Mod has transmute? Or does he actually? Never mind. That's hilarious because he actually really doesn't want Mod to have a Kiki Jiki because Kiki Jiki targeting Sakashima that is a copy of Kark is really not good for you.
Right.
So makes sense actually if you want to fire that off now.
And now we got the Thalia.
Yep. And suddenly life gets a lot harder for the Storm deck at the table, unfortunately. Although I'm assuming that's what the muddle was for in the first place. So wouldn't be surprised if we see Dan go and get a Brawl here. Has the land drop too. Great.
Polluted Delta.
It's exactly what you want.
Getting a volcanic island off of this.
I mean, theoretically, you could also cast Sakashima this turn, but it's a bit risky because it puts you shields down. You don't have the remand up. You don't have the God, muddle the mixture up. I'm just naming the card effects. Mine is elsewhere today. Yeah, you're sort of going shields down unless you have a 1 mana piece of interaction, which we don't know that he has. So
Right.
I'm not a huge fan of just slamming Sakashima here. I think I'd rather establish the cost reducer and then, like, you're not holding up anything in that case either, but like it sets you up better for next turn, I think. Although maybe you just like want to keep as many cards in hand as possible. It's just like I would rather, since neither of those plays holds up anything, I'd rather do the higher mana commitment play this turn, since Transmute for Baral is a 5 mana play rather than the just casting Sakashima, which is a 4.
Right. So let's see. So I think we're going to see a Transmute here. Oh no, we're seeing a Sakashima.
Okay. So I think that this means that you're either not transmuting into Brawl, or you just want the extra time to see if like somebody else wants to deal with Thalia instead, and you just like want to hold your tutor for as long as possible.
Right. It sounds like he's going to be passing the turn from here. So it's going to be Pongo's turn. He's going to untap, upkeep, and draw. He does have a Joda activation at his disposal.
With the vault,
paying a mana vault with the Carpet of Flowers. Okay.
So you obviously can't cast Pier with the Joda because it will cost 1 more. So you're 1 mana off there. This makes sense, but this also means that he did not draw anything better. Like, he didn't draw any creature that he could have cast off of Joda.
I will say, in the game he played with Sheldon, he hard cast Kozilek the Great Distortion. Yep. The deck can make mana.
It'll definitely end the game on the spot. Definitely something that happens. So it looks like we got a Mystical Tutor coming out of Dylan. Gonna be interested to see what this gets. Your Kiki is effectively permanently gone, so you're really off of that plan. So I'm wondering what this is going for. Because it's gotta be probably something that just is on a completely different axis.
This puts you on twin lines, doesn't it?
Potentially you can like Mystical Tutor for E-Tutor here, and then E-Tutor for Splinter Twin.
Got him.
I mean, I'm super not happy about that, but I'm not. I'm just considering what other options you have. I'm not sure there are that many. You go for a creature tutor, but you're 2 creatures off of a win con here now because you don't have any more. Your only creature combo with Corridor Monitor is Kiki, so you'd have to assemble like Dockside plus Emiel here, or Dockside Baron to do purely creature combos at this point.
He's still looking.
I'm sure all this is going through his head as he's searching his library and looking for a target for this Mystical Tutor.
So there's, I'm trying to think, there's, man, so I guess you can get Eladamri's Call. You could get Finale. Eldritch Evolution.
Yeah, I'd definitely be considering
Eldritch Evolution
here. If you're looking for like a creature, if you're in the market for a creature tutor, I think Eldritch Evolution isn't bad. I think it gets pretty much everything in your deck at this point, aside from Karma Guide and Seaborn Muse. And you don't really have the mana to tutor for Seaborn Muse with anything else.
Right. Well, it looks, so if you get that, you probably get like what, a meal?
Potentially. I think you might just like, it might just be correct to go for a Dockside at that point instead.
Right.
And just make the mana in the first place, or just like hold the Eldritch Evolution until it makes enough mana.
Right. So we're looking at Dockside. They're kind of talking about how Dockside goes for Dan, because they're all kind of thinking Dan's going to be. They kind of evaluated that Dylan's threat level has dropped quite a lot.
Yes, correct. I would agree with that assessment.
Swords on the Kiki is rough.
Yeah, it definitely is, especially when you basically spent your entire hand to try to force it out.
So is that a swords? I think that's a swords to plot. Yeah, that's that new art from that'll be coming out here for what is it?
Pretty.
Strixhaven.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a swords. Can confirm. I heard him say it in the.
Beautiful.
Heard him say it in there. I got there.
So I'm assuming this is probably the default target here is the Sakashima, and then you can also just hold on to it for as long as you want to deal with potential other issues as they come down.
He's going to draw, so he'll draw that.
I guess you could also, there's also an argument here to just cast Thrasios rather than using the swords. Like you just use the Mystical Tutor to find the swords and then go shields down for a turn with it. Force other people to deal with the problem, and then develop your commander, and then be able to hold up 4 mana every turn afterward and potentially get yourself back into the game that way. Just draw a card every turn. I mean, you draw a card every turn anyway,
not bad.
But, do opt every turn plus your draw for turn. So,
right. So we're on Charles's turn. Got another snow-covered basic from him.
Will we see a Brimez? I hope so.
That would be really cool. Brimez is a cool Magic card.
Certainly is. So there's some thinking going on here, I think.
Yeah, Charles is kind of listening to the game chat, and he said contemplating the universe because the Kirkin Sakashima sound like that's scaring him a little bit.
I mean, I'm not surprised. It definitely seems like they have a lot of resources. I think they're a bit of ways from getting through Thalia here. This is 4 mana. Okay. This is 3 mana? 4 mana.
They're paying 4. Gideon of the Trials. Okay.
Interesting.
This is a card I never know how I feel about. We've played it in Lavinia a little bit before. We've taken it out. We've put it back in. And I never know how I feel about this card.
It is okay against Oracle and not great against anything that doesn't say win the game on it. If the card wins the game through some other means of apart from saying win the game on the card itself, then it's not quite as good as you would like it to be. Does stop Oracle and just console wins in general though, so it's good.
We will see exactly. Yeah, so it's going to be a 0, I think. Oh, excuse me. No, he's upticking on the Joda.
Interesting.
They're currently discussing whether or not they think Joda is a Canadian or not.
Red, white, and blue. So close. If it was Boros casting costs, I'd have to say yes.
He's not quite American because he's 5 color.
Exactly.
Would that make him like a liberal American?
Oh, who knows? Interesting the uptick, actually, I guess. I'm not sure if you hit the Gideon when you're Pongo. Maybe you do. Maybe you just want to get rid of it.
Right.
Actually, no, the more I think about it, yeah, you just do, because I feel like you're the only person at the table that really cares about the Gideon, actually, especially with stuff like Grape Shot going on in Kark Sakashima list.
So Mod is going to get the Spirit, and he's going to be casting the Sakashima. Looks like
The swords, yeah, on the Sakashima. Yeah.
So they're going to gain 2. And Dylan is hellbent. So Dylan is officially F6 for this turn.
Yeah.
So maybe, perhaps the Thrasios play might have been a better way of going there.
Potentially. Depends on how scared you are of Clark Sakashima. I feel like it's like there's a chance that you can put Pongo on interaction here, even though he's already spent a deflecting swat. He's definitely drawn quite a few cards.
We're getting some attacks from Dan into the Gideon. I don't think Dan realizes that he just doesn't need to worry about the Gideon.
Yeah. I guess you just don't want it around because it can become a beater potentially. But
right.
Yeah, I think I'd probably just rather have the Spellseeker in play for doing snap stuff at some point.
Right. And Thalia did block the Spellseeker.
Yeah.
Good old Thalia has first strike. I can tell you, I can tell you from firsthand experience, there's a person in our LGS who plays only Death and Taxes.
Yeah, it's the Death and Taxes guy. Every LGS has got one. This is actually a great draw, by the way, from Dan. Just like naturally having the cost discounter is pretty great here. Because it opens up
Goblin Electromancer is awesome.
Possibilities for the muddle.
If you land that, if you just fall into a Baral, it's off to the races.
Oh, we're seeing a Get Probe. All right. I mean, if you
Get Probe targeting Pongo,
if you draw into a Burgie here, it's definitely like even more so, just because like you start getting mana refunds for this Get Probe if you start failing flips.
You do have a limited number that you can cast, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that goes back to hand. Recast it.
Gonna cast it again, going down to 29.
Just wanting to cycle here.
All right. Wins this one. All right. And so Dylan and Charles are looking away. And we're gonna see what's all in Pongo's hand now, officially. Oh, excuse me. Targeted Charles this time. There's Chancellor of the Annex. Is that Sun Titan? Karmic Guide, Bramaz?
Yeah, I think it might be an Alt-Art Sun Titan. I couldn't tell you.
I don't remember. Man, I have to look now. Is that the right art?
I don't know.
I think
anyway, we're going to see.
Oh, it might be a Crovax.
Now we see Pongo. Who drew the Force, apparently. Andrew wins for the... Wow, crazy. Pongo's actually in a... not a bad spot here.
So, Jataxian Probe is in the yard, and Dan got to draw 2 cards and paid a decent bit of life and got to get a lot of information.
Yep, definitely helps out to know pretty much exactly what your opponents are on here, which is great.
And passing the turn there from Dan. So here we're about at the halfway point of this gameplay. And interesting how things are going.
I think there's also an argument, though, that could have been made here for Dan to have just recast Sakashima. Because it certainly makes your storm turns a lot easier. And I'm not sure that you probably need it out anyway, and I'd rather expose the thing that you can, like, have a reasonable chance of recasting rather than the thing that if it goes away, you just don't have it anymore.
Right. And Thrasios has come down and joined the chat.
Not bad. Looks like Pongo just drew and passed on his turn, so not much going on over there. Obviously doesn't want to cast the Pier or anything into Dan's obvious counter magic or the Thalia. So
Right.
waiting on the bounce spell that he has in hand. Also has a Force of Will as backup for anything that might go down, which is good. The only issue with like bouncing the Thalia here is that Dan still, has a remand and a muddle, so it's sort of hard to justify like actually doing anything until either he's burnt some of that counter magic or you've drawn into additional protection.
So we're down over to Charles's
turn. Just
turn.
draw an even bigger bomb than Peer into the Abyss. That also works, I guess, but
So 5 mana, okay. Charles is just kind of assessing the table, figuring out where everybody's at right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Bramaz.
Our favorite cat boy. Let's go. Make some tokens. That's for sure.
And Gideon again upticks and targets Joda. So interesting from Charles.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like you don't think that you're in super danger. Like there's not a whole lot of danger of just dying to something that Gideon actually stops. So just keeping it alive is pretty nice. And also getting it up to like trying to get it up to a loyalty where eventually you can start turning it into a creature is pretty good.
Right. Let's see. So is Charles passing the turn? Yeah, he's passing the turn. They were just kind of chatting things over there a little bit.
Actually, if I was Dan there, I might have actually just slammed the remand on that Brimez.
He's slamming Intuition instead.
It's reasonable.
And Pongo has a response.
Oh, he's letting it resolve first. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of like waiting until the card trigger resolves to try to counter something, just because like there's always the chance that it just immediately goes wrong and there are now 2 copies on the stack that you can't do anything about.
Ooh, Grape Shot.
Interesting. Grape Shot for 3.
So Storm.
So
yeah. No, it's more than 3. It's 4. There was a Bramaz.
Yeah, 1, 2.
This is on. How is he? Oh, wait a second. He can't do. Is Grape Shot instant?
Yeah.
It is. I thought it was a sorcery.
Tendrils is a sorcery. Is it? Oh, I might be completely wrong.
Are you sure?
I might be wrong.
Grape Shot's a sorcery.
Is anybody gonna call him out on this? Oh my god.
I don't think anybody's going to do that.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Callahan, we need a judge in these games. After the last video.
This is 2 in a row, guys. Come on. Oh no. Come on, somebody catch it. Grape Shot's a sorcery, guys.
Oh my god.
No. Pongo. Why?
All right, well, we're going to act as if it's an instant, and that's
all right.
Actually bad for Dan. Dan actually really wanted that to be a failed flip so they could get the Grave Shot back while still killing off the dorks.
Oh, man. I don't think he can target the Gideon. No, it's creature or player. Guys.
Well, hold up. Is that
Nope, that's the errata deals 1 damage to target creature or player.
No, it's any target.
Is it?
It's any target.
Okay.
It's not It's not an errata. That's the new-ish printing, but it's still old enough that it was before any target templating. Yep.
Is it? Okay. I'm checking. Okay, it is any target. Okay. This isn't as bad.
Look, nobody currently in this video knows what Grape Shot does fully, okay?
Evidently. I should know what it does.
Yet
I play against it in my LGS all the time.
There's a strip mine on the Ancient Tomb. Not unreasonable, I don't think.
Right.
I think if Charles is under less pressure from Kark Sakashima here, he potentially just like aims it at the Gemstone Caverns instead.
Right.
Keeps Pongo off of the 5 mana for longer and like makes him have to like actively do some mana fixing. But yeah.
Mox Amber. Okay. Storm count at 1. Mox Amber. So Mox Amber
makes a red for right now. We'll see.
Right.
The issue is like
Dan. Oh my gosh. So Dan is in the so in the exiling Aria of Flame under the Chrome. Yeah. So Dan is in the chat talking about how much he wished somebody would kill the Kark because he hates fighting through it. And I quote, "I don't know how Ken does this every week." That's funny.
Like, I feel like, yeah, you just can't go for it here. The intuition, like, is very likely to just get countered as soon as you cast it from Pongo.
Yeah.
I feel like you just have to recast the Sakashima. Like, it sucks, and you don't want to.
Might that get countered, though?
Would it get countered? And even if it does, you have the mana to attempt a remand on it anyway. Like, you have the 50-50.
That's true. I guess you do, and you have a mana reducer, and there's no Thalia anymore. Although there should be, but
so actually, you have 2 attempts
that.
at a remand actually to get rid of the force.
And cracking Flooded Strand. Getting a Steam Fence.
Also, once you have the Kark and the Sakashima out together, if Pongo doesn't go for the counter, Remand becomes a very disgusting spell. Because if you start, like, if you win 2 flips, so, like, you basically, like, you always get it back no matter what. And if you ever win, like, 2 flips on somebody's spell, then you both bounce their spell, draw a card, and then bounce your own original and draw a card again. So your 1 mana remand their thing, draw 2. And then get your remand back. Which is incredibly annoying to play against. And is also great for you in the grind game.
Right.
So I would be looking to just slam Sakashima and start doing stupid remand things. But it looks like he's going for the intuition.
Here comes intuition. All right.
I'm assuming Dan thinks he can win this turn. Either you can win this turn or you can just like do something that's even better than remand shenanigans.
So it looks like they are looking up rulings on Kark at the moment.
I don't know.
So while they are looking these up, just want to take a moment to remind everybody to go check out our Patreon. And also, if you're in the market for some new cardboard, well, I guess it's used cardboard technically. But from TCG Player, you can check out our affiliate link down in the description below, and we'll get a little bit of that sending our way, and we'd greatly appreciate it. Got a new patron while we were recording.
Hey,
just now.
Look at that.
Yeah, pretty exciting. I always like, that's the best phone notification.
It's a great one.
All right, so they're kind of still figuring things out. So what do you think they're trying to figure out right now?
I'm honestly not sure, because Krark is a very simple, like there's a lot of text in that card, but it's a very simple ability to resolve. It's you cast a spell, trigger goes in the stack. Do I get to resolve the trigger? There's no, like, everything happens at once you start resolving the Krark. So I don't know what
they're trying to figure out. If, okay, once the Krark trigger resolves, if you have a chance to respond still.
Oh yeah, you most certainly do. There's just another copy on the stack.
Right. So I think that's where Pongo's trying to figure out where he has to interact.
Yeah. Like you almost certainly interact before the Krark trigger resolves here, just because like otherwise
it's the same thing you do before, actually, reiterate or something, right?
Pretty sure. Actually, I might be...
Okay, so they're doing that. And Intuition copy is on the stack. And he's targeting Charles with the copy.
No, okay. You know what? I think I know what they're discussing, which is, like, if you counter the original and the copy, like, in the ability resolves to make the copy, do you still have the copy? I believe you do.
Right.
It still doesn't matter, because you still want to counter the original anyway. And if the flip fails, like, you don't want them to have the option to recast the intuition, right? Because if you wait until after, either they get the intuition back and they recast it again, and then if they succeed, they have 2 copies of intuition on the stack, and you can only counter 1 still. But if you counter before the ability resolves, and then it gets countered, and then they fail the flip, they just don't get the intuition back, and they don't get to do anything with it.
Let's see. So Dan is... What do you think your... Okay, LED, Lotus Petal, Wheel of Fortune on the first one.
Yeah, I mean... You're obviously doing breach stuff here, but...
Right.
Or, like, your intent is to threaten breach stuff here on your second intuition. I'm just not sure what you fill out the rest of it with, because, like, you're almost assuredly not getting the breach from the second one, unless you already have it in hand. Which, I mean, if you already has it in hand, good luck the rest of the table. You're dead. Like, you're so dead here. But,
right.
You don't know. Because you can't, there's no way, unfortunately, in, without white to force a breach into your hand off of an intuition. So you need to, like, the issue here is you need to force, or, like, you need to threaten that you're going to be doing something better, which I'm not sure that you can do, because I think breach is pretty obviously the best thing that you can be doing here.
Right. So they're discussing as a table what to give him here. And Charles is arguing exactly what you said, which is give him the wheel. So they're giving...
I wouldn't give him the wheel, quite honestly. I think I'd give him the LET and then just, like, don't give him the breach off of the second flip.
Okay. So Pongo's saying he still has a chance to interact here.
Yeah, Pongo can certainly just counter the second copy of intuition. But, like, with the wheel in hand now, that's, like, just not great in my opinion, because you can now just get a full refill.
Right. So they're discussing this, like the transmute and all of that. Because they're all kind of discussing as a table where the interaction should go and who should get it. But right now we're seeing looks like we might be getting interaction from Pongo. He's getting his mana kind of set up. What do you think he has?
Well, we know he has the Force. And we know that he has the Winds of, whatever. The Millie bouncy card.
Right.
That one. We know that he has both of those, and I wouldn't be surprised if he hardcasted the Force here so that he has access to the bounce spell still after this to interact with permanents.
Right.
The only issue is this is like, is this too late? Because he has Dan now has access to a 2-mana wheel if he wants it. I guess potentially you can fail the flip on it, but
Hardcast the Force.
Expected mana cost for the wheel is 3.
And everybody is surprised in the chat about a hard cast of the Force of Will. But like you said, that's definitely to have the Winds of Rebuke
that's
left.
The one.
All right, and that does counter the Intuition. He still has Remand and Muddle the Mixture in hand.
Yep. I'm honestly sort of surprised that we didn't see a Muddle fired off there. Okay, transmute.
All right, transmuting the Muddle.
So Dockside makes 4. Actually makes 5.
Getting Underworld Breach.
Okay.
So if he gets Breach...
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm completely stupid. He definitely already did have access to the Breach with the transmute here. Makes a whole lot more sense. Yeah, I mean...
But how does he cast it?
Huh?
So you have 2 mana, because he only has 3 mana left. So you cast that for 2. And then how are you wheeling?
What? No, you have an LED in your bin.
Oh!
And an intuition to start digging for more things every time.
Guys, don't mind me. I'm new.
No, the gamble here is that Pongo has the wins, and you literally just need your remand to go off. Like, you need to not lose the flip on Krark.
Right. Comes literally down to a coin flip. And so it looks like he's going to be doing this fairly unimpeded.
Well, I mean, you obviously...
They're kind of taking...
I think you just bounce the... you bounce the Breach here with the LED on the stack, because this is the least mana he's going to have for the entire rest of this turn.
So basically, it comes down to literally a coin flip.
Yeah, pretty much. The worst part about doing this with the LED on the stack, though, is that you can actually get both draws off the remand, because one can copy your LED, one can copy the wins.
So there we go. Odds, he loses. Evens, he gets it. And he got it. Double remand.
Yep. So you get one in the LED, one in the wins. Draw 2 cards. Not bad. Get to keep your Breach in play. Also not bad.
Wow.
Doesn't go for the LED bounce. Interesting.
I guess he just put both targets on the wins.
I guess that makes sense for if you want to be insured against potential even more counter magic from somebody at the table. But I mean, you gotta swag on them sometimes, Flex having 2 copies of Remand to do the thing with. But yeah, I mean, this is just sort of an auto win at this point. You can intuition for anything that you want. It matters 0% what anybody actually gives you. You're just tutoring for 3 cards every intuition. 3 mana.
And we know nobody has interaction at this point.
3 mana, instant speed, add 3 cards to your hand is pretty nuts. And when Krark rolls nicely, it's actually 3 mana, add 6 cards to your hand.
Right.
Which is a pretty good card, I would say. I'm not sure about you, but I count that one as pretty good.
I think so. Wow. So he is just manually storming right now through with a Kark and Sakashima. This is, man, David Snavely, Caleb Shearer. I hope you guys are proud.
I'm not sure there's a way they could be. And here's the brain freeze. Oh man, I thought we were gonna see more fun Storm. No.
All right. Well, I mean, it has Storm on it. It's technically Storm.
Yeah.
It's not modern.
Definitely
Storm,
read
though.
Storm on the card. Not exactly what I was planning on, but yeah.
So he's getting Twin Flame,
Yeah.
Brain Freeze, Dual Caster Mage. Yeah, that ought to be it. And he's got 2 intuitions right here. So I think, man, that should wrap it up. And he's got his whole graveyard.
Oh yeah, I mean the second intuition here as well just goes for like snap plus something, so you can snap your own Kark and start doing things actually deterministically. And then you can just start doing dual cast or twin flame stuff without having to deal with Kark triggers.
Right.
Although I guess it doesn't actually matter because you can just do it with the Kark trigger on stack. But anyway.
Right.
Dual caster. Well, I guess, sorry, twin flame first, targeting literally anything on your side of the board. Cast dual caster in response. Copy twin flame a bunch, copy dual caster a bunch, do the thing.
Right. So, and it looks like he's going to demonstrate that. He should have had a second intuition there, though.
Yeah, whatever.
I guess they're just skipping
it's
it.
a formality at this point.
Right. And they're trying to determine what the storm count is. I don't think it really matters.
Not really.
Because you should just be able to get the whole thing and win the game.
Are we doing some more swaggy stuff? Are we not just doing dual caster twin flame?
No.
Oh?
No, they're counting storm right now.
That's a lot more boring than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were intuitioning for more cards, and then we were just going to do.
Thought Dan was dunking on
combo.
people.
Yeah, no, we're just counting storm and doing things by the book. That's a lot less interesting. I thought we were going to be like intuitioning for the Mind's Desire in the deck, and like casting Mind's Desire a bunch from the graveyard, and then like using the grave shot that you already have in your graveyard to win the game off the storm. But no, we're just counting storm so that we know how many cards we're milling, so that we know how many times you have to recast this LED to do the deterministic thing. Yeah, I guess this is fine.
I think we're going to have to put an asterisk next to this win, since, that GRV on the last term really ended up having a huge impact. On the course of the game. And so, and I don't want to say that's, a thing where we're never going to show you those things, because those are things that happen. But it definitely shows you where it's important to keep an eye out on those sorts of things, because, correctly resolving spells can have a huge impact on the outcome of the game. But outside of that, what was your impression of that game there, Sick? And your
impression of that game is that sometimes manual storm stuff does stupid things. and sometimes when you just actually like win coin flips, not even metaphorical coin flips, when you actually win like literal coin flips, you just get there.
Right. Yeah, it's such a cool deck to see go off, and it's really cool to see it go off like in Commander, in blue-red, doing the gifts thing.
I mean,
it felt like modern.
It's even more entertaining to watch it go off without Sakashima in play, because with Sakashima, it's like you're like dealing, like you're playing cards from a loaded deck, or like you're like the dice are suddenly loaded on when you're rolling or flipping coins. With Kraken play, it's legitimately you're just like, okay, just don't screw me, I have a 50% chance of getting screwed unmolested. Just Krark, stay out of my way and just let me cast my spells, rather than like,
just let me win.
Rather than like having a productive commander in play and like doing actual powerful thing. It's just like, all right, just don't screw me on this.
Oh my goodness. It's always, this is the second time we've had Kark and Sakashima featured on this channel. We've had Kirk and Sakashima previously with, like I said, Ken, when he was playing it with the what's it called, the Ebert one. But now we've seen Manual Gift Storm take it home, and that's just it's really awesome. So. But that about wraps things up for us here today. Just a quick reminder that you can follow us on Twitter at Sculpty Boys. You can find a direct link in our link tree in the description below. Want to also give an extra shout out to all of our patrons who help keep the lights on. Like I said, we got a brand new patron during the recording of this, so thank you to our new patron and all of our patrons. If you too would like to become a patron, you can head on over to patreon.com/themindsculptors or check out the link in the description. Thank you again for joining us this week, and from all of us here at the Mind Sculptors, I'm Callahan, and we'll see you next time.